All right. Oh, I see. That's Kate. Because he's under contract.
To Erkin, yes.
Right, so this is maintenance.
We should wait till Ann gets up on the ladder and fixes the clock.
Because I'm like, okay,
Yes.
you don't have to be in there when it has 33s in there somewhere.
And look, she didn't bring candy today.
No, I did not.
Too early.
Huh?
It's too early. She's already hyped up. No.
It's never too early for candy and cookies. Look.
The time changes.
I'm gonna postpone this meeting in 30 seconds. You keep it up. Okay, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Rainbow Lakes Estates budget workshop for 2025-26. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tiffany, roll call, please.
Kathy Bryant. Here. John Connor.
Here.
Alan McKay.
Here?
Dallas Sutherland.
Here.
Dan Wilcherson.
Here. Announcement of guests, we have Chad Wicker, Municipal Services Director, and Zach Jacobson, Municipal Services Operation Manager. That's all we got, right? Yep. Chad, where's Katie?
Katie is in an all-day meeting. She's in leadership of Ocala today. She's
Okay.
working, but she's just not here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess we move on to the workshop presentation.
All right, here we go. You hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, so I want to start with saying what we did this year, and we're doing it every year, is that we have the managers and the supervisors and myself, we sit down, we look at the budget, each line item, we take what we've spent so far this year, we divide it by the number of months that we are in this fiscal year, times that by 12. So it kind of gives us a good idea of what our expenditures are going to be on the operating side, and then we budget accordingly. So it helps us, if we have too much money in a line, it helps us know where we can cut that line down and slim down a little bit better. And so that's what we did this year, especially because we're working on your 5-year plan and we want every bit of money that we can get to go towards those projects. And so you'll see some of the lines are reduced. That's why, it's because we went through and fine-tooth-combed this budget, trying to find every penny that we could find. So I wanted to start with that. If you had any questions, and we have some new advisory board members, so I wanted to start with that. I guess
Can you move your microphone closer?
I guess we'll go ahead and start with
That works.
the RLE Municipal Services District. What I emailed out to you was a summary sheet. I handed out today because I wasn't sure how this board wanted to view the budget. Every board that we have is a little bit different. Typically, the boards like to look at just the summary sheet so they know what we're budgeting in each line. I know there are some members of this board that like a little bit more details, and so I went ahead and passed out the detailed sheet, which looks like this. It's generated from our Munis, which is our budget software. If it's okay with you, I'll go ahead and review the budget using the detailed sheet, so that way if you guys have any questions, hopefully your questions will be answered with the details you see there.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right, so in the personnel section of the budgets, those are pretty much, I don't touch those. Those are controlled by our budget office and human resources. Right now, what's in there for regular salary and wages, you'll see you have the 3 full-time FTEs, and then your .33 FTE for the community manager. Right now, they have wages and salaries at $156,158. Overtime, we are budgeting $1,000 for overtime to use as needed for different events. FICA, obviously I don't control that, but they have it estimated at $12,025. Retirement contributions, they have estimated at $22,491. Health insurance, they have estimated at $45,234. I hear through the grapevine that actually may go down once they're finishing with the negotiations.
That was my next question, was two actual items. One was on the healthcare, if you guys had your new contract yet under the provider networks, and if there were any union issues regarding the employees' benefit programs.
Gotcha. Right now, no, we don't have any union issues. In fact, all of the union positions that we had and all the MSTUs are now gone. That union has been dissolved.
Thank you.
Yeah, so all of the MSTUs are now regular employees. There's no unions active. The only union that we have, I believe, is the fire union.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. And they reviewed the health insurance. I know they go over that contract. I think it's every few years. This happens to be the year they're reviewing it, so there's a possibility that it may be less. So,
Perfect, thank you.
yeah, but the budget office went ahead and budgeted worst case scenario. Life insurance is $1,048. Workers' compensation is $3,330, which leaves our total personnel section of the budget at $241,286. Do you want me to stop for each section for question and answers?
Well, the only thing that I wanted to bring up in here was what you and I had discussed regarding the 1/3.
Gotcha.
So, and for the record, yes?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, for the record, for me, I think that those 1/3 should be a cost allocation and not a direct expense to RLE as salaries.
Yeah, and I don't know how that works, so I'll have to get with, yeah. I do know, yeah. All right, so any questions on the personnel side? I know I don't really have control over that, but if you guys have any questions, I can do research and bring back. All righty, so we're gonna move on to the operating side of the general services. Under professional services, we budgeted $33,000, which has stayed the same from last year or this current budget. 25,000 of that is for law enforcement patrol. $8,000 of that is for engineering services as needed. So it's in there. We may not use it. We may use it. It's just there in case we do a project that requires some engineering. We have that set aside.
Okay, my question on that is, does that also include the work that we're having done on both the Creative Arts Center as well as the...
That's where that line would come out of. Yes,
Yeah.
that's where that cost would come out of, would be that.
Okay, so this 8,000 will include that, or...
Yeah, so let
I
me
wanna make
give you an
sure-
update on that because that's a good question. So I met with Scorpio, which is the contract managing company that I told you about at the last board meeting. I met with them in town. They are excited to look at the buildings. They reached out to me this morning to have a time set up, which Ms. Kara will be working on. We'll be coming out to the site. They'll be reviewing it, each building, and giving us what they feel like needs to be done in that building and some ideas for a remodel. They're going to help us. They're going to help us look at it and differentiate what our wants are and what our needs are and accommodate our budget accordingly. So,
Absolutely, okay.
so that way I can bring you back options and.
Correct. I just want to make sure that the $8,000 line item for 25-26 is going to be healthy enough, should I say?
I hope so, yes, sir. And if not, we can definitely do a bar and adjust that throughout the year. I don't really know yet what that looks like, and so these are just, I guess, the best estimates that we can come up with.
Yeah, and hopefully our current budget holds funding for that as well.
Yes.
And maybe we can get through the bulk of it
Yes,
in this
sir.
budget, because I believe last year we budgeted a little bit more money.
Yes, sir. I like the
Thank
way
you.
you think. Yes, sir.
Thank
I
you.
have a question.
Yes, sir.
Do we still have law enforcement patrols coming through the area?
Yes, sir.
When's the last time they went through? Or how many times a year are they now coming through, or a month?
So they come through 2 random weekends a month. And then, like you guys decided, from Thanksgiving through New Year's Eve, it's every weekend, random times. I just got, an invoice for last month, and it was 4 lines, so they're, every other weekend.
All right, I just wondered, because I haven't heard anything about them lately.
And we have asked them to, check over at the Creative Arts Center, because there was whatever that went on there that weekend, and they have not found anything, so that's probably helped that situation.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, so that brings that line up to 33,000, which is the same as what we budgeted this year. For the audit state required CPA, which is the 532101 line, that's set by finance. Right now, it's set at $6,896. They may change that before the budget is published. It may go down, it may go up. I don't know that, but finance will handle that portion of it. For contract services, other miscellaneous, which is the 534101, we have budgeted $36,630 for facilities mowing and maintenance contract. We have $650 in there for ASI camera security maintenance repairs and services. So if we ever have any maintenance that needs to be done on those security cameras, that will cover that. We have water samples in there for $260. And staff is requesting a part-time custodian position, and we don't want to bring that on as an FTE, but we can use a company called Advanced Staffing or Resource. Those are the 2 companies that we use, and basically they do the hiring and firing on our behalf. It's contract labor, but it's not day labor, and so we would interview the position. They would be part-time coming in, cleaning all of the toilets that we have.
I get that. It's kind of like ABM does.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes, sir. Yeah, and that would free up time for the facilities trade technician to do more upkeep, and it will free up the rec staff to do more recreation.
I'm all for that.
Yeah, and so we wanted to try it out this year. Right now, to quote, was it two part-time staff or 1 part-time staff? So it's 1 part-time staff custodian. It would cost us around $34,000. It would depend on how many hours they would do each week.
Okay, and then my next question, sir, was on the 36,630.
Yes, sir.
Does that that already includes the contract that we had approved for the rehab of the front entrance?
That is coming out of the roads budget. You'll see that in the roads
Okay,
budget.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the advanced staffing. We want to go that route because it's easy for us to pick up a phone and let the employee go if we don't need them or if there's an issue. If down the line we feel like it should be an FTE, we can discuss that again. But right now we just kind of wanted to try it out and see how it works out this year.
Yep.
That would bring that line to a total of $72,840. In contract services pest control, we did get a new contract countywide, and so we're bringing that line down to $120 from the $300 that's budgeted this year.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Nice.
Communication services, we have a total of $4,860 in that line, which includes the cell phones. It includes the district office landline phones. It includes the district office internet and what our IT department calls SMARSH. It's a service that we use that it governs our cell phones, so that way they can, if they're lost, they can find them. If they need to wipe them remotely, they can. But it also satisfies the sunshine law. It records all text messages and stuff in case we get a public records request. They can pull all of that. It backs up all the data to satisfy the sunshine law. So every phone within the county is required to have that on their phones, and so we budgeted for that accordingly. That line is down from this year, so there is a savings there. It was at $6,246. This year it's at $4,860.
Oh, Pam, I have a question. On the landline, does that still include a fax line? Do we still have a fax that's running?
No, sir.
So the fax has been disabled?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. That's a little bit of a bummer, but okay.
I will mention why you mentioned that. The county is going to Microsoft Teams. They're slowly transitioning departments into that, so eventually the landline will disappear.
Yeah, the only concern that I had is that we are still interfacing with Levy County. They're quite a bit behind the times compared to Marion. Things like code enforcement issues, complaints, and so on are usually, it's a paper form that is filled out by the complainant
Gotcha.
and then faxed to their office. So Dave Bannon and I have been working on that. He's been accepting my PDFs, but that's a lot of work on me.
Yeah.
Will they, so can you send it in an email?
Yes, that's what I've been doing as a PDF, sent to Dave Bannon as an email.
Will they accept it from us, so you don't just, if you just give us the information?
I've been referring people to you, and I've gotten some that have come back and said, well, they can't fax. I was like, that's why I brought the question up, is like, did we disable the fax?
Yeah, we haven't had a fax in probably 3 years.
Okay, now that answers my question, because I was like, what?
Fax is so 2000s, yeah.
I'm sorry, Levy is a little bit behind the times.
That's okay, we should be able to take it though.
Get you a scanner.
Yes, yes. If they fill it out, then we can email it easy.
Okay, thank you, because I'm like, I don't have the office that you do, nor do I have the nice equipment. It's like,
Yeah, we can scan and send it, that way it's not a PDF, it's just a copy of what they filled out.
okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Thanks.
no problem.
Good so far? All right, so moving on to 542201, which is our postage and freight. We have $640 in there for the mailing of the communicator, news postage, and $350 for the increased cost. Oh wait, that was it, no, I'm sorry. We have the mailing of the communicator news in there for $640, and then postage for $350, for a total of $990.
And that includes the postage increase. That includes the postage
Yes, sir.
increase.
Yes, sir, it
Right.
does.
Got it.
In our 543101 utility services, electric, water, and sewer, we have budgeted $5,100, which has stayed the same. Utility services, security light, we have budgeted $350. There is a slight increase in that line, but that's because SECO has increased their rates. And so we're budgeting accordingly for that increase. For rental and leases equipment, we have a total of $5,600 in there, which has stayed the same. That's for our district office copier lease, and then any color copies that we may do for like the communicator and flyers. For our insurance premiums, again, I don't touch that, but right now it's calculated at $10,180. That could decrease as we get closer to the budget's closing. Let's see, for repairs, maintenance, building and grounds, we have $14,000 for the annual playground mulch replacement. That's that specialty mulch that kind of feels like rubber.
Right.
$19,000 we have slated for the youth center roof replacement. We have $10,000 for asphalt for the approach repairs. So that's repairing the approach to the fitness center and the ramp due to wear, tear, and potholes. We put $10,000 in there for those two small projects. We have possible septic tank pump out at $400, and then any unanticipated repairs that may happen throughout the years. We did put $3,000 in there.
Is that roughly the same as the last year's?
Last year we budgeted $76,805. This year it's at $56,000.
Okay.
Wait, I'm trying to go between two reports and it's not working for me. $56,800, so it is down from last year.
Okay.
When you say repairing the asphalt, does that basically mean replacing it?
Overlay,
Okay,
yes.
or so. Just Just checking.
Is that the one that we were gonna do chip seal?
Yeah, I think we talked about it.
Yeah.
We're looking at some different options. The county is actually, OCE has started using chip seal again. They went years without it. And so it's something that we're entertaining that is a whole lot cheaper than doing asphalt. So we're looking at some different places where we can chip seal and save some money. And whether it's a valuable idea to do on you guys' approaches or if asphalt's going to be our best bet. But we have enough to do either way. We budgeted enough to either asphalt or chip seal.
Okay, thank you.
Come back closer.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, let me find out where I was at. Okay, 546257, repair, maintenance, fleet management. We budgeted a total of $400 in that line. That has stayed the same, and what that is for the vehicles to be inspected once a year by our fleet department for insurance purposes. 546301 is repairs and maintenance equipment. We have in there estimated $1,800 for any vehicle maintenance. Fire extinguisher repair and maintenance, we budgeted $700. For unanticipated equipment, tool repairs, we budgeted $2,500. For inspection and maintenance for kitchen appliances, we have in there $4,000. For the stove hood, ice machine, fridge, and different maintenance, we have in there for $3,500. For a total of $12,500.
Pam, have we reached out on the steam tray to get that thing repaired this year?
Right now, we have to have the stove hood cleaned. We had a fire inspection, and she said it needs to be cleaned, and one of the exhaust fans is not working properly. So we do pay for a stove hood inspection, but they just inspect it, they don't make repairs.
Okay,
So,
because we may need to increase this budget because that steam tray is still not functioning correctly, and that will be a repair that will need to go into this.
I wonder if it's just not, I mean, it's from '94. We might be better off just replacing it.
Okay, please get with the MS director so that if we need to do a full replacement on that system,
I would
that's covered.
recommend replacement because '94, it's,
Okay,
so,
That might be money well spent.
but also you have to remember that they're talking about renovation, so it may be part of that project. So if we could just hold off and deal with it a little bit longer.
can we at least get a bid or quote on what that cost would be? That way we're not caught, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
To put it
Yes.
in layman's terms,
Yes.
I don't want to be caught with my pants down where we don't have the budget to repair or replace.
Yes.
Thanks.
The steam table, that's what you're putting the pans in for the food
Right,
and heats it up.
right.
Yeah, and we've got one that is not working.
Yeah. Matter of fact, it should be disconnected entirely. It shouldn't even be operational.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's a bit of a concern. I mean, for the volunteers that are here doing the meat and feeds and
Yeah.
stuff like that, it's like,
Do we feel like that is more cost effective than doing the steno trays with the little burners under it?
It's safer.
It's
They are
safer, definitely safer. I am not a proponent for putting any kind of open flame within my building.
Gotcha.
Our building, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, you're good. Okay, so yeah, we'll get you a
Take
quote for
ownership.
that.
Yeah.
All right, where was I at? Fleet maintenance, equipment, covered that 12,500. There is an increase in that line, but that's because of the vehicle maintenance. We're not sure. I mean, they're, may use it, may not, but it's in there.
Yeah,
just in
and
case.
exactly, and I get that. In my head, because we just lost 2 vehicles last year because they wouldn't clear inspection, I think that we're fine where we're at with the reduction, because those newer vehicles should have no issue in passing for inspection on insurance.
Gotcha. It's a different budget, yeah. Okay, 547101, printing and binding. We have in there $500 as to cover printing and binding and marketing. That would include business cards, any trifolds that we do, or any flyers that we want to send out and have professionally done instead of using the copier.
And this is why I wanted to find out if Katie was here, because that's one of the things I still have outstanding with her, is the welcome postcards. I
Yeah.
want to make sure that that is included in the budgets
I was
going forward.
anticipating that question.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you notice in the budget for this year, we have $2,300. We're lowering that budget to $500 for this next year, but that's because we're going to purchase all of those postcards out of this budget, so you don't have to spend the money next year to do the same.
Thank you, amen.
Absolutely. Yeah, we will have those. 549130 is other current charge. It's tax collector. It's cost allocation for the tax collector doing their job in collecting our money. And so that I don't control. That's updated by the budget office once they go through the whole cost allocation process. 549140 is the same thing for the property appraiser in Levy County, and then cost allocation for both of those to do work for us. 549185 charges, cost allocation, again, that's controlled by the budget office and will be budgeted appropriately. Right now, I think they have an 8% increase, but it could go down, just depends on when they're done with that
Yeah, that was
study.
going to be one of my questions too, is I hope they reached out to Levy, because I think that their fee has gone up as well.
Yeah, our budget office, Audrey Fowler, does reach out to the agencies and
Okay.
adjust that accordingly.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. For office supplies, 551101, we have budgeted a total of 1,200. Slightly down last year, or this year we budgeted 1,430, and next year we're budgeting the 1,200. Gas, oil, and lubricants, fuel for 2 vehicles, we have budgeted in there 7,000. We did increase that line slightly from 6,200 to 7,000 just because we're unsure.
Yeah,
I
gas
don't have a
prices.
crystal ball when it comes to gas
Exactly.
prices, and so we may use it, we may not, it just depends. Computer software, we have budgeted a total of $2,771.52. It is down from this year. We have in the line item $3,385. All of this is recommended by IT, the Kronos maintenance. That is what we use for time clock system. Target Solution is the countywide training that's required by law. We have our Microsoft Office software in there. We have our Adobe Pro, which allows us to edit PDFs. And then the Microsoft Teams calling. That is what's taken the place, eventually will take the place of our telephones. Everything is run through Teams, and we'll be able to answer and make landline calls with that system. Social media archiving, that's what keeps us in compliance with Florida Sunshine Law when it comes to our Facebook pages. And GovInvest is what HR uses to compare salaries with different counties across the United States.
This one is another one that you may want to make a note on, because we've been talking about increasing or redoing the camera for the dock. I think that's probably going to fall under this, because this is an IT line.
The camera would actually probably be computer hardware,
Okay.
because there's not really a software that goes with it. It's,
We don't know yet.
but
Yeah.
That's a good tickler for me to get back with IT about that camera though, but thank you.
Mhm.
And 552101, clothing and wearing apparel, we have budgeted in there for uniform shirts for staff, $400.
552107,
Yes, sir. Did I say it wrong?
101.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
we're done.
552107, clothing and wearing apparel, $400. 546301, this year no. See, this is what I get for trying to do two reports here. 552108, operating
There
supplies.
we go.
This one is a big decrease. Last year, or this current budget, we had $51,706. This proposed budget, we're budgeting $5,600. $4,900 of that is for cleaning supplies, paper products, any anticipated supplies that we may have. Fire extinguisher replacement, we have in there for $700. And if you'll notice, I will go ahead and say it because it's the first time I've noticed it on this report. If you see a line that says delete, that's details that was in this current budget that we don't need in the new budget, but they lock us down in the budgeting software because they don't want us messing anything up. So what we do is we type delete in all caps, and then the budget office will search for that word and eliminate that line.
No fudging on historical records, that's
Correct.
what's that about.
That's exactly right. It's to keep us in compliance with sunshine law. So if you see the word delete there, it's just because it was a line that was used this year that we're not using next year. So that brings that total $5,600, and if you're wanting to know why that line is less, it's because last year, or this current fiscal year, is where the chairs and tables came out of.
And here, Pam, is the one that you were talking about, 552-116.
552-116, computer hardware, yes, for the camera. This year, we budgeted $1,690 for a laptop replacement for
But
DP.
which one is this?
DP, is that?
That's mine.
It's Pam's laptop.
Are you the only one with a laptop? Is everybody else on a desktop?
No, the full-time rec leader has a laptop.
Okay, good. And I believe his was replaced last year, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember, I just know that I think it's every 3 years they do
Yeah.
that.
I think
Oh,
you're
no,
right,
no, no,
it's
that's,
this year.
that's the government standard life for them. It's 3 years, after 3 years, they have to be replaced under government standards.
But I am gonna request that I keep the current laptop because it has the fitness center stuff on it. And when I got the current laptop, it took them months to get it to run right. So
Okay.
I want it just for fitness center.
You may still need, well, and again, I don't want to overstep my bounds, but you may have to turn that in so that they can eliminate everything else except that software.
Right,
Just
but,
be prepared for that.
right, but at least
Okay.
it's on there, I know it works, and we won't go through the same thing that we went through the last time.
Okay, so Tiffany is on a desktop
desktop.
unit.
Yes, and hers is being replaced this year, I believe, this current year. And
Okay.
then the buildings and grounds tech is on a desktop.
Okay. Yeah, well, and I'm sure his will come out of his budget, so.
Yeah, at some point, yes.
Yeah, so our IT department, the policy, because they have a contract with Dell for laptops, it's every 4 years.
Very
desktop is
familiar
every
with
5
that.
years.
We had the same contract where we came from too. It's
Yeah.
like, they track it.
So
It's
they
like,
kinda
time's
dictate
up, you
us,
need
yep.
to turn this in.
Exactly. For operating supplies, for PPE, for gear, for staff, we have it $50. Books, publication, and subscriptions, we have a total of $300 in there. For any subscriptions that we have, it's $150, and then we have our Canvas software. It comes out of subscriptions because it's an annual subscriptions, but it's what we use to create promotionals, flyers, trifolds, postcards. Training and education, we have in there for $375, and that's for any certifications that we may need for the new staff coming on, CPR, other trainings that may be required.
Wasn't last year's a little higher?
It was the same.
Was.
It was the same, yes, sir.
Okay.
So that brings our operating total to $252,846.52. It's down slightly from last year, or this current year is $280,139. So we are down a little bit in our operating. In our capital, we have nothing budgeted for that, so we're down $552,737. I will tell you, that line right there, the capital improvement funding, where you see the 510,000, when we do carry forwards, that money is going to be coming into this budget. That's where we roll the funding so we can save up for projects.
I'm sorry, can you give me the account number on that? I'm lost.
Oh, it's not on the details. It's on the summary sheet.
Oh,
It's
I'm
the I apologize, for some reason it's not showing up on the detailed budget report. It's our improvements other than buildings, the 563-101, the capital improvement funding, which is 563-901,
Okay.
and machinery equipment. Those are zeroed out right now. The reason why that 563-901 is zeroed out is because we haven't done a carry forward yet, which happens in July. And we will carry that 510,000 over into the new budget. That line is what we use to roll your funding for big projects.
Correct, I understand that.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure everybody's clear on that. And then, of course, we have our reserve for contingency at 125,000, and our reserve for cash carry forward, which is required by law, 250,000.
And now, just for the sake of argument, where are we with our percentages of underspent currently?
I can get you that report. I don't have that on the top of my head. You're talking about for each line?
No, I was looking for bulk, so, I mean, you can do that in a text, email, whatever.
So you want to know the percentage that we've spent so far for this year?
Yeah, I want to make sure that we're not, I mean, I know we haven't overspent. That, you know me,
Yeah.
I'm watching all of that. I just want to make sure that we haven't underspent too far either,
Okay.
because that has an impact on our budgets going forward. If you underspend too much, the money comes out of your current budget.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the percentages of underspent.
I can definitely get that to you.
Thank you, Jen.
You're very welcome. So the grand total for the budget for general government is 869,132. That does not include the capital improvement funding.
Correct.
Any questions on this budget? Anything you would like or recommend or would like to see revisited?
Other than my FTE item, that is it.
I will be transparent. I don't know if that is something, even if I got the green light, that could change for this year, but it's something we can for sure look at.
Yeah, because it's an item that I had brought up last year as well. So we're starting into the second year on it with still no resolution.
Yeah, and it's county-wide. That's the way it's done. The FTEs are split.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, an example would be like Tracy Straub, her salary is split between all the enterprise funds, and it's done by percentages like that and not cost allocation. But I can get you an answer why it's done that way. So,
Thank you.
Okay,
absolutely.
on the CPR training certification,
Yes, sir.
is there any possibility we could open that up to the public? We have, if we're gonna have certification done, is there a possibility, if somebody wants to come in and either recertify themselves or just to learn the process?
At the cost of the citizen? Is
Right.
What you're saying, like, offer? We could see if we can get CPR classes here.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and offer it.
Yeah,
think Marion
I would
Oaks
love to
does-
recertify. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a long time since I've done it, but
Yeah.
I know the process is,
Recertified too, because they've changed the way you
yeah,
do it.
they've changed it considerably.
Yeah.
We can see if we can get a CPR trainer to do a class out here.
Yeah, that would be
Marion
great.
Oaks does it, they charge whatever it costs for the class, the citizens pay, and then they come in and take the class together.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Absolutely, great idea. All right, so if there are no questions on that budget,
Next item, next department.
did I pass out all the details for each one?
Yes, you did.
All right. I had a slight panic there for a minute because I thought I forgot the other ones. All right, so RLE rec services, we'll move into that line. We'll start with personnel. You have 1.5 FTEs. Right now they have it estimated at $49,712. We have $500 in that line for overtime. FICA taxes, $3,844. Retirement contributions at $7,187. Health insurance at $13,584. Life insurance at $229. Workers' compensation at $1,367. Total personnel for this budget would be $76,423.
Okay, Chad, just as an aside, I know this is not necessarily part of this, but what's the progress on the recreation person?
Well, I was excited because I thought I was going to be able to come back and tell you at the next board meeting that we were fully staffed. We did interviews.
Mhm.
We extended an offer to the full-time. We had a bunch of candidates that we interviewed. The top pick we offered the job to, she came back and declined the job. So we offered it to the number 2, and he got a job with utilities, making a little bit more, and so he went ahead and took that job. So we have your full-time back out again for advertisement. Good thing is it looks like we're starting to get interest and applications for that position. The part-time FTE position, we did fill that one, and so that one is supposed to start. Did they give us a date yet? On the 17th, your part-time rep will start.
Okay.
And we have put it back out for your full-time.
One of the issues, well, several issues to getting people to come out here, if they don't live in the area, it is considerable driving. Is there a possibility that we are not paying them enough? Because if somebody can go and make more money in Ocala and not have to drive, they're going to go to Ocala, it doesn't matter. But if they have to come here, you know, you got commuting all the time, and quite frankly, if we're not paying somebody a sufficient salary for them to come here, we're not going to get anybody worth a damn.
So what we do is if they apply and they have experience, we do request a higher salary. There's a worksheet that you do, and like David was 15% above starting. So that's just how it works out. So depending on their experience, it formulates how much over the starting salary we can go.
Okay, our candidates are informed of the starting salary, correct?
Yes,
So they know that.
yes.
When they apply for the position, it is very clear what the starting
I was
salary
gonna
is.
say, I
And
think
can
it's
they,
part of,
and they can negotiate for that at the time, right?
yes.
As a director, I have the authority to offer 15% above base. Anything above that, I would have to take to the county administrator, but it is a possibility.
Okay.
And just kind of give you a bigger picture, the recreation leader position is a county-wide position, and so that position is paid the same whether you're here, Parks and Rec, and you know, they've got sites all over the county. And so that, it is harder for me. I would not be able to change that salary, but what I can do is do a cost sheet when they get hired to try to bring it at above base.
Okay, well, you understand my concern.
I
If
absolutely
we're
do.
not getting somebody here that wants to come here, we're not paying enough.
Correct.
And I don't care what the rationale behind it is. If we don't pay somebody enough, we're not going to have anybody.
I don't think that's the issue because Parks and Rec has no problems hiring on. And they're all over the county. I mean, they've got parks everywhere, even in remote areas like this. And so I don't know. I think we almost had a really good, solid, full-time position, but utilities stole it from us. But they pay a lot more because those are operator positions that require certifications. Like that is a much
It's understandable,
job.
yeah.
But we're working on it, and we are advertising it outside of the normal advertising that HR does. Like we're posting it on different sites and Facebook pages. It's in any flyers that we send out when we do career fairs, and we are definitely making a push for this area.
Okay.
I would like to get it fully staffed.
Yeah.
All right, any questions on the personnel budget? Okay, so moving on to operations. For contract services, we have in there for water samples, for $100, six of those for 6 wells, and so there's a total of $600. In 534126, contract services pest control, it's $396. Communication services, We have a total of $7,320. 600 of that is for the fitness center and rec office landlines. 3,000 of that is for the rec office internet. 600 is for the rec leader cell phones. $120 of that is for Smarsh. And we did leave in the $3,000 for the potential for service area to extend to the center. For the fitness center internet, if it comes out there, we would like to get that connected.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was like,
Sorry, that wasn't clear with that one.
what center?
I apologize.
Center of what?
So the
Center
total-
of the universe?
So the total for that line is $7,320. 543-101, utility services, electric, water, and sewer. We have in there for the electric, the 3 buildings, is $20,550, which we've left the same. Utility services, security light is $4,000. Our insurance premiums, the
Whoa.
Sorry.
Sorry to do
No,
this.
you're good.
Just for clarification for me, when you're referring to the 3 buildings, because we see this repeated over and over through the budget, this is for the rec office, youth center, fitness center?
Yes, sir.
Okay, are we forgetting the creative arts center?
That's a clerical, it's for all of those buildings. We'll create that 3. Sorry, it should be 4.
Okay, thank you, because
Yeah,
I was
we'll
like,
correct that detail.
I think we're missing a structure.
Yep.
So basically, it's for all the buildings up here except for the office, the Creative Arts Center, and the Fitness Center. Security lights at the park, or no, bathroom electric at the park, and then security lights for the park is out of the security light.
Okay, thank you for
We
the
will correct
clarification.
that in our system. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay, 543-111, utility service security light, we have in there 4,000. Insurance premiums, 545-101, we budgeted a total of $1,090. 546-101, we have budgeted $3,200. 2,000 of that is for unanticipated repairs, and 1,200 of that is for termite inspections. And line item 546301, repair maintenance equipment. We have a total of $3,400. Unanticipated repairs, we have in there for 1,000. And then we have gym equipment maintenance in there for 2,400.
is that under contract?
At this time, we can't find anyone to do repairs. The company Pro Maxima that we get the machines from has been looking for us. There's no one that, at this time, that wants to do the repairs. I don't know if it's because they're from Tampa or what it is, but they are actively looking for a company to do the repairs. So until we find someone, Monty will do the repairs.
Okay,
And they will provide the parts that we need to us. I mean, we have to pay for them, but they, so
right.
that's where we are with that right now.
Thank you. That's why I was kind of curious, because I'm like, it seems to me that if we had it under contract service, it would probably be less money. So,
Okay. 549130, other current charges, tax collector, same as the other lines, the $4,661. Cost allocated for 5491140, property appraiser is $2,200. 549185, cost allocation is $7,892. Our office supplies, 551101, we have budgeted $200. 552106, again, is pretty much controlled by our IT department. We have the GovInvest in there per human resources for $26. We have our Kronos maintenance, which is our time clock system, in there for $130. We have our Microsoft licenses in there for $440. And Target Solutions, which is the training system that we use to keep us in compliance, is $108, for a total of $704. 5 552107 is clothing and wearing apparel. We have in there $800, which is the same as last year. Operating supplies, 552108, we have budgeted in there $16,300. For recreation community event supplies, we budgeted $6,000. For cleaning and paper supplies, we have $3,000. Fire extinguisher replacement, $800. And fitness center machinery upgrades, we have in there for $6,500. For line item 552111, operating supplies youth center, we budgeted in there we have budgeted in there $5,000 for youth program supplies as needed, youth center expenses, snacks, events, broken items, that kind of thing. We budgeted for $3,000, making that line a total of $8,000. 552119, operating supplies PPE. We have budgeted in there $550, and that's to cover things like the latex gloves and masks. 554101, books, publications, and subscriptions. We have in there $400. That's for the FRPA subscription. For 555501, training and education, we have in there $1,000, and that's for our rec leaders to get the training that they need, the boat training, CPR training, all of that. So that brings the total operating budget to $83,263.
Before you flip this page, these snacks, are these the snacks, are we giving snacks or pizzas away, or are these what we sell?
The snacks would be what we sell in the snack bar, and if we wanted to purchase pizza, we could.
Okay. I just wanted to check. Thanks.
And then in our reserves, the 599101 is where the $25,000 would go, and the cash carry forward $50,000. I will be very transparent. This budget is a very, very tight budget. The millage for this is low. And so when our budgeting office loads the revenues, which they have not done because we meet so early in the year, and they tend to do that later in the year, I may have to adjust this budget according to the revenue. I know we're working, trying to get Levy County on board with this millage to help this budget out. But I did want to be very transparent. There may be a possibility that when they load our revenue for this account, I may need to make some adjustments. But this is the worst case scenario. Like, this is what we're asking for. It won't go up, it may go down.
Please, please, please keep this board informed.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, if I make an adjustment, that's where I was going to go next. If I do make an adjustment, when I present your budget in April, is that when it comes back? In April, I will definitely tell you where I've cut and what the I'll give you a summary. Like I did in the email, when I had to make an adjustment, I'll let you know where I made that adjustment. So that way it's very clear.
Yeah,
So,
okay. This is why I was saying what I said in the meeting. We've got to fix this issue.
yes.
It's been brewing for over 50 years. We're
Yeah.
now looking at 52 years of an error.
Yeah.
We
And I do
need to
have
fix it.
Yeah, I did talk to the county attorney about it, that the board has an appetite for bringing Levy County side of that into the recreation. And so we're setting up a meeting with her and my boss, the ACA, to discuss everything that we need to do to present it to the commissioners and the county administrator. I may need to get with you and get your contacts for Levy's side, because they'll want to vet all that out with the chairman before they bring it forward.
Absolutely.
But just so you know, the ball is moving on that. We have started the process.
Thank you.
So yeah, but I wanted to be transparent. I may have to adjust this. It could be 30,000, it could be 10,000, I don't know. It will go down, it will not go up.
Exactly, but take the current revenue stream, tax base only. Let's just do this for
Yeah.
numbers, kicks and giggles, and increase it by 14.4% and see what that does to your book.
That's if we include Levy, is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
All right. No, it won't fix this year, but he's saying for the future. Yeah, okay. Any questions on this budget? Anything you'd like to see changed? Any recommendations? No. All right. Feel like this is going too easy. I'm sorry, not
Oh,
that
you should have
good.
said that.
All right. I'll learn. It's my second year. Give me a break. All right, so we're going to move on to the road improvement budget. So 512101 for personnel, regular salaries and wages. We have 108.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. What's up?
I do have one question, and unfortunately, it is on Rex.
Okay.
So currently on per the last revenue statement that we have, we still have delinquent taxes of $5,442. Could you put that on your tickler list to check on those?
5,000.
It's showing 5,442.61
And you just want to know what they offer? or-
status.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Good question. All right.
Ready to move on.
Personnel and roads, general salaries and wages, they have us estimated at $183,316. Our overtime for this budget is $3,000. Our FICA taxes is $14,258. Retirement contributions, they have us budgeted at $26,665. Our health insurance is budgeted at $58,819. Our life insurance is budgeted $1,235. And workers' compensation is $11,552, bringing our total personnel line items, the budget is $298,845. All right, so any questions on the personnel?
The 1/3 for the gentleman sitting right here.
All right, 531109 professional services. We have in there engineering services for Marion County side, 4,000. Engineering services for Levy County, 1,000. So a total budget of $5,000 for engineering services that we may need when we're looking at redoing those roads. Contract services, other miscellaneous, 534101. We have budgeted in $6,217. $217 of that is for water samples for the wells, and $6,000 of that is the landscape contractor for the quarterly replacement of annuals and perennials that you are wanting on the entrance and the island. Yep. For 534126, contract services pest control, we have brought that line down to $120 because of the new contract. 541101 communication services, we have $300 in there for shop phone landline, $1,200 for internet services, $2,700 is if we want to go with the increased speed when they get that out in that area. We did budget for that in case. Is that And then- Oh, that's a good point. On the Smarsh line, we have in there 5 phones at 100. It should be $120. So I will have to make that adjustment. I apologize about that.
Okay.
Okay. The shop landline, $4,700. That's how much a landline costs?
No.
No, that's the
Shop
total.
landline, that's the 4,700 is the total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the way to easily notice that is if you see the asterisk by it, that's the total for that line.
Okay, all right. Holy cow.
No, I was like, who is he calling? No.
And again, that landline will be eliminated when we go to Microsoft Teams. We just don't know when that will happen. It could happen this fiscal year, it could happen next fiscal year.
Hey, can we back up just for a second?
Yes, sir.
On account 53, 1109. Engineering services for Levy County. And this is in regards to roads, correct? Where did we come up with that number?
It's just an estimate that Pete gives us based on we may need it. I will tell you, we listed it out separately here, 4,000 and 1,000, but it's in the same pot, $5,000, so it doesn't matter what side. So he estimated 1,000 for Levy County and 4,000 for Marion, but if I end up needing 1,500 for Levy County and less for Marion, it's okay because it's in the same line item.
Okay, because I was concerned about that based upon the information
List of
that I
roads.
got. Correct.
Yeah.
And it's for 25-26, the bulk of that work appears to be on the Levy County side, but the engineering budget is still sitting in the Marion County pot. So I was like,
Yeah. I mean, I could actually just say engineering services for Marion and Levy County, $5,000.
I don't want to change the way that's being done. I just want
Gotcha.
to make sure that they do flow between the two.
They do. Yeah.
Okay.
I can easily pull from that account for either one.
All right, thank
Sir.
you.
Yeah, no worries. I appreciate it.
See, I'm watching out for you, Zach.
I appreciate it.
I have a question about the communication services for the internet. For recreation, we budgeted $3,000, and for general government, we budgeted $2,820. But on this one, you only put $2,700.
Where at?
Communication
Mhm.
for the internet, you have $2,700. For recreation, for the internet at the fitness center, we have $3,000. And for the internet at the office, we have 28 and some change. So I just wonder if that's enough.
I will double check.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no worries. All right, so 543-101, utility services, electric, water, and sewer. We have in there estimated for shop electric, $4,476. And we did an increase due to service costs with Sumter Electric. We did add in $984, bringing that up to $5,460. For utility services, 543-102, we have in there $624. 456 of that is for landfill items, Marion County landfill drop fees, and $168 for Levy County landfill drop fees. Again, these are estimates. We may not use it. We may use it. We may use more on Levy side than Marion County side. This is just an estimate.
I'm surprised that we're even paying drop fees to Levy.
Do you think they would waive it?
No, I'm just kind of surprised.
Yeah.
It even kind of surprised me because I'm like, seriously? And here, I'm a Levy person, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't think that's right.
Think we should take it all to Marion County side? Is that what it is?
No, because, trust me, I make the trips out to Inglis as well. You know, it's like there are 6 of us out there in Levy County that do roads maintenance, trash removal, and so on. And because we're not Marion County residents, we end up taking it to Inglis to be dumped. But it's like, why is Marion having to pay that? That's not fair.
And being an honest citizen and not just dumping it in Marion County anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to get, they send people to our homes. They do. We had one person that got cited because she dropped some stuff off at the front and then came back. Well, as soon as she crossed the line, code enforcement was right behind her and gave her a ticket. You can't dump at Marion County. She's like, wow, I picked it up in Marion County, I dropped it in Marion County, and I was on my way back to the ranch. No, you have to use Levy County, here's your ticket. So we're like, because I heard about that. I was like,
All right. 543-111, utility services security light, $840. Again, there's an increase due to service costs with Sumter Electric. 545101, insurance premiums, they have it budgeted for $20,119.
Yeah, whoa. Does that include all of the equipment? Is that why this is so high? 20 grand. Insurance. So I'm hoping that it includes the tractors, the mowers, the trucks,
I'm assuming that's set by budget and HR. I can find out. I mean, that's a good question.
Just a curiosity question. This is a cost allocation line item, so I understand that. It just, wow.
It is
Again,
pretty
it's
steep.
just a budget,
Yeah.
estimated, it may be less.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of which, because we lost a dump truck, did we gain a trailer yet?
Working on it.
Okay, thank
We're working on it,
you.
yes, sir. All right, 546101, repair, maintenance, building and grounds. We have budgeted $3,000. That includes any broken items, electrical fixes, water damage, that type of stuff. 546131, repairs, maintenance, road. We have in there $50,000. That covers sod, sign and asphalt material. We did break it up, guesstimating Marion and Levy County, but again, it's in the same line item, so if I need to use more for one side or the other, it's completely fine. 546257, repairs, maintenance, fleet management. Again, that is in there for our annual inspection with fleet in order for us to stay insured.
And again, it's only for 3 vehicles.
Yes, sir.
Don't they inspect everything?
Just the highway vehicles.
Just the highway vehicles?
Yes.
Okay, that, you knew exactly where I was going, because I'm like, we just made a big purchase of a new tractor. It's like, is somebody keeping an eye on this?
So county-wide, everything is supposed to go through fleet. They are allowing us to go through a local vendor as long as they keep records of everything. And so that's how we're doing that. We're running it through,
Okay,
and our guys will work on the equipment.
all right. Thank you.
Forgot where I was at.
Oh, and here we are, 546301.
546.
Tractor maintenance.
Yeah. Yep, so repairs and equipment, we have in there $25,866. 3,000 of that we're estimating for tractor maintenance. 3,000 of that is for truck maintenance. For spare tires, rims for tractors, we're estimating 1,380. We have in here, if I can keep my line right, for blades, we have 2,550. In electrical damage, equipment breaking due to overuse, 6,400. Annual bucket truck inspection, $700. Batwing mower chains, $2,436. Backhoe repairs, $4,800. Backhoe tires, $1,600. So we have that setting right now at $25,866. Again, that's an estimate. We may use it, we may not. We don't have a crystal ball, so we never know when something's gonna break.
Hey, the equipment is expensive
Yeah.
to maintain, but we've got to have it.
Yes,
It's just-
and we're trying to give you a little bit of details here so you kind of know what that involves. Yeah. 549185, charges cost allocation, they have us at $58,636. Office supplies, 551101 is $550. Gasoline, oil, and lubricants, 552101, we have at $24,000, which includes a $22,000 for gas and then $2,000 for oil and lubricants. 552106, computer software is at $2,200. That includes $1,275 for our Microsoft Office licenses, $455 for our time clock system, Chronos, $125 for the required training software. No, I apologize, $125 for the Adobe maintenance software, which allows us to manipulate PDFs and stuff for reports. And then $216 for the Target Solution training.
Right.
And then, of course, the Gov Invest in there for $129 for HR. Our clothing and wearing apparel, we have budgeted in there $2,000 that covers their uniforms as well as the county's boot reimbursement. Each employee is allowed $150 for boots each year. 552108 operating supplies, we have budgeted $5,000. Fire extinguisher replacement at $1,000. Shop supplies and hardware at $1,650. Toilet paper, paper towels, hand soap, hand sanitizer, work gloves at $350. And small hand tools as needed for $2,000. 552119 operating supplies PPE, which is the mask, gloves, safety goggles, earplugs. We have estimated $1,120. 555501 training and education. We have at $2,200, and that would include the MOTS training, CPR, and whatever other training that's required.
So my question is, I'm looking at 4 staff members in maintenance. Is that a full complement? I thought we were supposed to have 5.
No, sir, we have
Only 4.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank
We
you.
are fully staffed, and we have a great team out there.
No,
Yeah, I agree.
no complaints.
Yeah.
No
It
complaints.
is, they work very well together. They complement each other.
All right.
All right, and 563220, improvements, road and bridges. I have in there, hold on, pause on that line, because I need to say something on that. Let me just go to 564101, machinery and equipment. They are asking to replace the UT1 Kubota. They want to replace it with another side-by-side. The estimated quote that we received for that is $19,602.
Will that be brought to the board for vote?
It typically is not brought to the board vote. Once you approve it in the budget, that's the go-ahead.
It just, yeah, oh, okay, all right.
Yep.
And for peace of mind on that, I believe about 12,000 of that is gonna come out of what we made on the dump truck.
That is true.
So it's not, we're better than 50% paid for.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're making me feel more fuzzy now. It's because that was one of my things. It's like, they want our vote when they want to buy things. But then once it's purchased, it seems like our say in what happens to that asset just disappears. Because then once the county has that asset, they decide where it's gonna go, how it's gonna be, where it'll be maintained, and so on. And it's like, no, these assets are being purchased by these residents' tax dollars. They should also have a right to say what happens to that asset at the end of its life.
So what they do is they follow the Marion County policy. It's sent out for auction, and then that money comes back to where it was purchased. So if we purchased it from this community,
Mhm.
the sale of that item at the auction comes back to this community.
That's nice to know. I had no clue.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, it's a policy that any equipment that we get rid of, it goes to auction, to be fair, so we're not showing favoritism like, hey, you want to buy this piece of equipment? It goes to auction, it's sold at whatever is sold at the auction. We can put a reserve on it if we feel like there needs to be a reserve.
Right.
Most of the time we don't. Once it's sold, wherever, the clerk's office is very strict about that. If it's purchased by RLE funds, it comes back to RLE.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
That is very good to know. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Absolutely. Okay, so the improvement road, I did put the 1.4 million in there, which is part of the 5-year plan that we presented to the board. The way it really works, I put this in there so that way we're transparent and you know what we're budgeting. But again, like I was saying on the main budget, we actually have it in our, bear with me one second. When we do the budget, I'm supposed to only budget new money. And so part of that 1.4 million is actually sitting in our improvements other than our capital improvement funding on this current budget. And so in July, we will do what do they call that? A carry forward form, and that'll go into the budget. Does that make sense?
Repeat it one more time for my
Okay.
edification, please.
Absolutely. So we are carry forwarding, we're carry forwarding money so that way the balance grows for us to pay for roads. And so it is sitting in our capital improvement funding, which is the 563901. So come July, when I do that carry forward, that money is going to go into this budget.
Okay, because that was, thank you for that clarification, because I'm looking at the estimated budget for, the long-term plan for roads, and I'm looking at this number compared to this number, and I'm going, no, this is not working for me.
Yeah.
Because the Marion County proposed budget, long-term budget for roads improvement would consume more than half of this capital improvement fund.
Yeah.
So I'm like, something's not right here.
Yeah. So when I present this budget to you in April, that line is not going to be there. But that's because it gets moved over in July with a carry forward form.
Okay.
Because it's currently in our current budget, because that's where we're saving the money, and then next year when we're ready to spend it, I'm moving it over.
Okay. All right.
I want to make sure that's clear. I don't think it
Yes.
was clear last year, but I want to make sure it's very clear this year.
It is now, because I'm like, we're about to go broke. You understand that, right?
So, and we're working with the 5-year plan that we presented you, and when we presented that, we said it may be less, maybe more, it just depends on the funding that's there.
Got it.
Yeah. All right, any questions on that budget? Anything you'd like to see different, any recommendations?
Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, exactly, just my 1/3 FTE.
Yeah.
Done?
I'm done unless you guys have questions.
All right. So does the board want to discuss this? You have any questions? Well, Dan, you've run out of questions.
Thanks, Daniel.
We're not letting you talk. No, and seriously though, anybody have any, remember this is gonna be for our April meeting, and it comes for a vote then, so if your one changes, now's the time to bring it up so they can make them in advance. Not that you can't bring them up then, but
Right, but you know me, it's like I'm gonna hit it straight on, head forward, and I already have my questions. I don't wait until the end. It's like,
And for
please
us,
make a note of this.
well, for us, we appreciate that because we only have a certain amount of time that we can make changes, and so.
Oh, trust me, I know, I lived this
Yeah,
world.
so
It's
if I
like-
can get that now, that's better for me than telling me in April you have a ton of changes, because then,
Yeah, it's pretty much, I'm sorry, this is what it is, you'll have to make those changes next
if there are
year.
major changes, yeah.
Correct.
If there's some minor tweaks, or if I need to make some adjustments because BCC has addressed or has directed that, then that's my time to come back and say, hey, I made some adjustments, or there may be some small adjustments you want, then I can do that in April. But if there's any major changes, I would love to have those now than then.
I don't have any questions.
Don't look at me like I'm the board's budget guru people, okay? You're all
George,
members
is
of
your
this
microphone
board.
on out of curiosity?
What?
Is your microphone on during this meeting?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. You can't hear me?
I can hear you, but it's not loud. Normally, you're a lot more boisterous.
We have to tone it down. Decorum.
What's that?
Decorum.
Which is
Yes.
unusual for you.
No, no.
I think
no, no.
for
It's
me,
you I gotta
other
worry
than
about.
the items I brought to your attention as we were going through it, I'm good. My biggest concerns right now are please check with legal or administrator, whoever it is, about the cost allocation versus FTE issue, and then bring back that response to me. That would really, I would appreciate that.
Anybody else? Kathy, you're sitting very quiet down there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Ruh-roh.
Kathy and John.
Yeah. Only other concern that I have noticed, I've gotten handed roads responsibility, and we seem to have the same problem that we've had in the past. We still have a lot of drop off on the sides of the building, or on the sides of the road. Like if you go from the Boulevard and Bluegill Road, there is a drop off in that corner about that high. Somebody's gonna hit that thing and bust an
We are
axle.
definitely aware of, so before
You can speak into that
sold the
microphone.
dump truck, I was actually coming out here because I have my CDL, and I was trying to help them once a month, just to get material moved to those places. And that's the big part of why we need that dump trailer, because their crew, then nobody has a CDL.
Right.
The dump truck was obsolete for them. So that dump trailer is going to enable them to get material to the roadside, start packing lime rock where we don't have drop-offs. The other thing I'm trying to visit that I'd like to see start happening, where we do our annual large road projects. I'd like to get to where, now that we have a dump trailer, we can go pick up our own hot mix, because right now they're using cold patch to fill potholes, which is a very temporary fix, right, we're all aware of. So it's something I'm trying to make work out. I'm gonna have to get some training for Bill. But I'd like to see them start doing some of the long patches where, like, what is that, Kingfish and, what's that crossroad there?
Kingfish and Beach.
Okay, I believe it's Kingfish and Beach, that radius is just horrible.
Yeah.
Autobahn, that's the one, yeah,
And-
so that radius is horrible. So what they've most recently done is packed it full of lime rock, because they'd throw a pallet of cold patch in there that would last, 3 weeks or till the next rain. So right now, the temporary fix is they've got lime rock packed in there. My goal is to start seeing that crew start doing long patches, now that they're gonna have the equipment to do it, where they would cut that section out, go down to the plant, get a load of hot mix, actually lay asphalt in, and have a more permanent fix. Where I could add it to our this year's road project, but because most of our work is on the other side of Rainbow Lakes, we would incur a huge cost of just getting them to move their equipment over there to do that small patchwork. And I know that there's a number of areas like that out here that need addressed, but to assign a whole construction crew to just do little long patches is not cost effective. So now that we're getting to the point where we're getting the equipment, where we're gonna be able to start doing some of this stuff in-house, that's what I really wanna start pushing that crew to add to their responsibilities of doing those.
Well, there's a big concern too with the condition of Marine. Marine is getting bad, and in some areas there are holes there that are like a square, and some of those holes are big enough to swallow a Volkswagen. It's ridiculous, and they fill it, and in a week it's gone. You know,
That one's out of our control, that's the county.
That's the county?
Responsibility.
Yeah, because it's considered, I believe
It-
that's
it's a
one of
truck
the
route, isn't it?
routes.
It's a truck line?
Exactly.
Yeah, so that falls
that
into their
goes on to
maintenance
Pete.
program,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
okay. Well, Pete's gonna get a call.
Yep, just keep calling.
Yeah.
But Marine, that, they may be able to do it in their, what's it called, the TIP program? Like they did Ridgewood, remember they came out and redid Ridgewood, the county did, because that's a truck route?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
might be able to.
Let's not use Ridgewood as an example.
Well, I'm just saying that it's part of, that might be something you can check to see when it's on the program to be redone.
Oh, yes, okay, I see where
Yes.
you're going, yes.
Being a truck route though, it is tough. It's getting rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can tell where they did Ridgewood, because a lot of people, I had visitors come in, they're like, why do you slow down at this intersection? I said, because I know how they did this one. And if you don't slow down going through this intersection, it will bottom your car out. And it's not that it wasn't paved right, it just, the overlay creates this
Not a real smooth transition.
Yeah. And it's like, it'll send you up and bam.
Okay, that it? Anybody else?
Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to say that, you know, Chad and Zachary, I think you guys are doing a great job.
Got it?
Thank you, John, appreciate it.
I like the presentation.
Thank you very much.
I have a question about the recreation. What services are not available now because we lost Robert, besides the plant swap?
The youth center's been closed, but the youth center will be open on the 19th,
Okay.
from 4 to 8 are normal hours.
I assume the children, the senior tots or whatever,
Mhm.
that's still going on?
Yes, but because that is not staff-based.
Okay. So that's the only thing then besides the plant swap?
Yes,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome.
All right. I guess that's about it then. All right, that concludes our budget workshop. Our next board meeting is Thursday, March 20th at 6:30 p.m. right here in the Rainbow Lakes Estates Community Center. And this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.